We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel here for June 14th. It is a Saturday, meaning every single team today plays in Major League Baseball. And of course, we have our 5 best bets for this slate. And before we get into the best bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our game number 5 predictions for the NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, we'll get to that later today. You know, I have a lot to say, and I'm not happy about it. But anyways, we got the NBA Finals predictions later today, and obviously later today is UFC Atlanta. Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley in the main event from Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure to go check out our full card predictions video on Greedo Plays MMA. That is linked in the description down below. Go check that out if you have not yet, and go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA also as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets for the MLB today. Starting things off with our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. We're going Nats money line. I don't know what the line is going to be yet, because as of recording at 2 a.m. in the morning, the Nats play in 8 hours, and we still don't have a line for the game. Regardless, I'm going to take the Nationals. I think it's going to be a much better line than minus 125. Yesterday, the Nats closed at about plus 100. Now, obviously, they didn't win, and I'll get to that in a second. But I do think this line is going to be around that again. I think they might be a slight favorite, but here's my reasoning for why I'm taking the Nats today. And again, I'll go through yesterday's catastrophe. But the Marlins used so many guys out their bullpen yesterday. Edward Cabrera only went 3 innings, and that was before the rain delay. Cabrera only goes 3. They go to Phillips, Gibson, Beloso, Henriquez, Venziano, Bender. They had to go to Foucher at the end of the game. The Marlins pitched 7 relievers yesterday, and they're going bullpen game today, which has to favor the Nats. Cade Gibson is the projected starter. He is a lefty who's got a .93 ERA this season. He has not gone more than 3 innings all year long. So I don't even care if Gibson gives the Marlins 3 shutout innings. They have to go to the bullpen. And obviously the Miami bullpen isn't very good as it starts. And now they got to go to a bullpen who most of their guys pitched yesterday. I think it should favor the Nationals. I get it, it's Trevor Williams' bump day for the Nats, and that absolutely sucks. We know the Nationals are going to give up runs, and again, the Nats are god-awful right now. But I don't think they lose back-to-back games to Miami. So, obviously the 8-game winning streak I was proposing yesterday is not going to happen. At max, they can take 7 of 8 against Miami. But right now, the Washington Nationals are an absolute joke. This team loses yesterday 11-9 to the damn Miami Marlins. Mitchell Parker, guys, I don't want to see Mitchell Parker ever pitch again, at least for the rest of the season. I'm so serious. Cade Cavalli needs to be brought up right now, and the Nats need to make moves immediately. If you're Mike Rizzo, how can you stand by and just watch this shit? It doesn't make sense to me. Your team's 9 games under. You told us in the offseason we're going to be competitive this year. Well, our team gave up 11 runs yesterday, and sure, the boys battled. They did. But, I'm sick of hearing, oh, the Nats battled and came up short. And that's all fun and games against the Mets. If this is happening against the damn Marlins, I mean, what are we doing? Miami 17 hits yesterday, 11 runs, and Nats 16 hits and 9 runs. The bullpen blows it. Jose E. Ferrer, as soon as the bats got us back in the game, blows it immediately in the top of the 9th inning. Top of the 8th inning. The team's an absolute joke. They score 9 runs, and yet they still lose. Mitchell Parker gives up 6 runs. Again, if you're Mike Rizzo, and by the way, the Marlins have beat us 3 of 4 to start the season. The Miami Marlins. Where is Cade Cavalli? Brady House is on a 13-game hitting streak down in AAA. He's batting .305. Hell, Roman Anthony got called up, and he wasn't even putting up those numbers in AAA. So where is Cade Cavalli? Guys, Jose Tena, I like the guy as a player, but my goodness, you're batting .240. You've hit 0 home runs. I'm so serious when I say this. Trey Lipscomb could put up these same numbers, and Trey Lipscomb is one of the best defensive gloves at third base. And yet Jose Tena has an everyday job security at third. To the point where it gets to the point where Garcia and Rosario have to platoon. Brady House needs to be playing third base every single day. Jose Tena needs to go down to Rochester, and Cade Cavalli needs to come up right now for Mitchell Parker. What are we doing? Because, guys, this is a joke. I didn't think it could get worse from the series at Citi Field. I mean, yeah, again, James Wood and CJ Abrams combined for 6 hits yesterday. James Wood hits a 460-foot bomb. That's great. But again, I'm tired of hearing, oh, the Nats battled, but they came up short. I mean, at some point, you're gonna have to start winning baseball games. You're 9 games under. You're a joke for the 6th consecutive season. Do something. Please, do something. So that's why I'm urging the Nationals to actually win a game today. I think they will. Again, I look at the Marlins and I say, all right, yeah, they're going to hit off of Trevor Williams. The Marlins, I'm not joking, are going to score 7 runs today. I think the Nats can put up 9 again, though. Against the Miami bullpen that's depleted right now, against a starter, again, who I think is going to give Miami good innings. But I look again at what happened yesterday and how deep Miami had to go in the bullpen. And it's not like these guys were just pitching, it's not like most of these guys were coming in, they'd pitch 5 pitches and come out. No. Like, again, Gibson pitched 20 pitches. Belozo had 31. Henriquez, 20. Venziano, 23. Foucher, 21. I mean, these guys are pitching deep into games, at least out of their bullpen. I think the Nats should be able to take advantage, but if there was ever a team that wouldn't take advantage, of course, it's the Washington Nationals. The Marlins closer, Foucher, whatever they say his name is, he had blown 4 of 9 saves so far to start the season. Of course, he doesn't blow one against the Nats. We're an absolute joke. We suck, but I'm taking them to win today. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to do anything off of Cade Gibson, though, to start the outing. We will see. Give me Nats money line. We move on now to our second best bet of the video. It is our NRFI of the day, and we're going to Detroit, Michigan for the Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds. Pitching matchup tonight, Brady Singer and Jack Flaherty. That's good enough for me. It is. Brady Singer, 4.59 ERA, but Singer has been fairly decent. He's been better, I guess. He had a really rough start to the month of May against the Atlanta Braves and against the Houston Astros. In Atlanta, he went 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. In Houston against the Stros, only went 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs. So again, a really bad start to the month of May for him, but he has responded since. And Singer is really only going to give you 5 innings of work. At least that's what he's been doing recently. But usually it's 5 innings, 2 runs. We just got to avoid the damage in the first. And obviously, right, we know what Detroit is. They are one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball. 21 games over 500 at 46-25. You know what the lineup offers, obviously, with Gleyber Torres, with Kerry Carpenter, with Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson. I mean, there are so many great bats in the lineup. Hell, Javier Baez is still batting .284. Not like he's going to be too much of a concern here with the NRFI, obviously, because if Javi's batting in the first inning, we likely have already lost. But I think Singer is able to get his outs early. Again, Gleyber Torres, righty-righty matchup. Kerry Carpenter, obviously left-handed bat along with Riley Green. But I am going to still side with Brady Singer here. And the main reasoning why we're going with this play is because of Jack Flaherty. Again, Flaherty, he's good. Is he the best pitcher in the rotation for Detroit? No. Is he the second best pitcher? Probably not. But he's great for Detroit. This is why the Tigers are 21 games over 500, right? When Jack Flaherty isn't even a top 2 starter for you. 3.41 ERA in the season for Flaherty, coming off his start in his last one last Sunday against the Chicago Cubs, where he went 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, and 9 strikeouts. Flaherty was amazing against a great lineup, obviously, in Chicago. Now, shout out to the Pittsburgh Pirates scoring Paul Skeens a whole 2 runs yesterday. Skeens, of course, still gets the no decision, but Pirates win, so shout out to them. But right, Flaherty with a great outing in his last one against the Chicago Cubs. Hell, start before that in Chicago in the South Side against the White Sox. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Start before that against the San Francisco Giants. 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. Like, Jack Flaherty has been excellent recently for Detroit. And you know what the Cincinnati Reds lineup is. Sure, they're going to have their nights where they're going to score. Hell, yesterday the final score between Cincinnati and Detroit was 11-5, even though 3 of Cincinnati's runs were scored in the 9th inning when they were down 11-2. But anyways, you kind of know what you're going to get at the Reds. They will have days where they will come on and they are going to score and they will be great, but there are other nights where nothing goes on for them. And at least in the first inning, right, you're likely going to see TJ Friedl in the leadoff spot, Santiago Espinal in the 2, and likely an Elly De La Cruz in the 3 with either Tyler Stevenson or Christian Encarnacion Strand or potentially Spencer Steer in the 4 spot. Or actually, I guess we might see Gavin Lux higher in the lineup. Regardless, though, this isn't the hard part of this. It's really not. This is this is what we feel like is pretty automatic, right? Jack Flaherty, last 3 starts, 18 innings, 1 run. 18 innings, 8 hits. I think the walks were a little bit of trouble for him in his last start against Chicago, 3 of them in 6 innings, but still, Jack Flaherty's been excellent recently for the Detroit Tigers. I mean, this is why they brought him in. Obviously, championship experience from last year's Los Angeles Dodger team. The Dodgers kind of politely said no to Jack Flaherty in the offseason, obviously. But Flaherty, right, been really good, 3.41 ERA. And obviously the hard part's Brady Singer, but I say this all the time with NRFIs, right? I'm perfectly fine with Jack Flaherty getting outs for us in the top half of the inning. I think that's almost a guaranteed spot for us, right? The difficult spot's going to be in the bottom of the half, with bottom of the inning, with Brady Singer, with matchups like Gleyber Torres, with a Riley Green, with a Kerry Carpenter. But at the same time, too, right? We feel like Jack Flaherty is almost automatic. So at that point, we're playing -135 odds for Brady Singer to get 3 outs. I'm not going to pass up on that. Right, Detroit did score yesterday in the first inning against Cincinnati off of Nick Martinez, who obviously, right, pitched a contact guy, not the best. It was a solo home run for Gleyber Torres, obviously first batter of the game. Gleyber actually hit 2 in total yesterday. I think Singer is able to avoid the damage early, and I'm not concerned about the Reds scoring, so this really all comes down to Brady Singer in the bottom of the first, but I think he'll be able to come through. Give me the NRFI here in Detroit between the Tigers and the Reds with Brady Singer and Jack Flaherty. Get us 6 outs at -135. Let's go on now to our third best bet of the video. It's going to be our best player prop of the day, and we're going to go to Queens, New York, to Citi Field for Drew Rasmussen. Guys, Drew Rasmussen is not getting talked about for the elite season he is having right now, right? And I know, again, Rasmussen's not going to go more than 6 innings. Hell, he hasn't done it all season long. But my goodness, I mean, the guy deserves some credit. He deserves some respect. He will likely be an all-star this year. Rasmussen with a 2.22 ERA, which is 8th best in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, that puts him, with guys such as Paul Skeens, obviously, with his 1.78 ERA, Kodai Senga, Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Chris Bubich, Tarek Skubal, Jacob deGrom, Drew Rasmussen, and then Garrett Crochet. Those are the type of guys that Rasmussen is with right now in terms of the best pitchers in the league, right? Again, is Rasmussen going to win a Cy Young? Is he going to be considered for that? No, obviously, because he's not, going deep into games, and really he's not, a big well, he's a factor of why the Rays win, but obviously, you don't think of the Rays and think, oh, okay, Drew Rasmussen, right? Even though he's having a spectacular season. Anyways, though, we are going to take Rasmussen on the over strikeouts, and this is the reason why he doesn't get the looks at, for being elite. It's the strikeout numbers, right? Rasmussen is a pitch-to-contact guy for the most part, but he will find ways to get 5 strikeouts. And obviously, the line today is 4.5, right? Same exact line. Oh, I didn't. Whoops. I forgot my camera's on this side of the screen today. 4.5 strikeouts, right? At -115. This is a line we saw when the Nats played New York, obviously, when they played the Mets, right? We had our best Nats prop as Mike Soroka on the over 4.5 strikeouts, and he had 5 against the Mets, right? We did pass this test with him. I think Rasmussen's got good stuff, and Rasmussen has shown the ability to get 5 strikeouts, right? You look at Rasmussen's last 5 starts, he's 3 for 5, getting 5 Ks, right? So, I get it, a mixed bag. His last start against the Marlins, only 3 strikeouts in 6 innings, but start before that, 8 strikeouts in 5 innings against the Rangers. And I get it again, that was when Texas was in their ultimate cold spell at the plate, and obviously they fixed that by going into the nation's capital, because that's just what you do, right? The Marlins right now are playing a get-right series against the Nats on the road. It's so great. Anyways, Rasmussen prior to that against the Twins, man, 5 strikeouts, 6 innings, and then start before that against the Blue Jays, 6 innings, 3 innings, 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, my goodness. And then start before that against the Marlins, 6 innings, 4 hits, 6 innings, 4 hits, and 5 strikeouts. Got it right the first time. Rasmussen's been really good, though, man. I mean, look at his last, again, not to beat a dead horse, his last 5 starts, right? He has gone 29 innings, and he's given up 2 runs, which happened in the last Marlins start on the 8th, which was last Sunday. Rasmussen's been excellent, so expect him to go deep in this game. And the thing I've said about the Mets, again, I hate the New York Mets with all my heart, right? But this is not an emotional play, obviously, right? If I was doing that, I would have just, fired up Rays money line for them to win back-to-back games, which I think they might be able to today. But I do just think Rasmussen's a really good play today, because the Mets have a lot of big swing and miss potential, obviously. I mean, not to completely hate on Juan Soto. I'm going to, though. Soto, right, a guy in the middle of the lineup, great hitter, obviously. He is back because the Nats gave him the confidence. But at the same time, Juan's going to strike out. I saw Juan strike out in every single game that the Nats played him in, right? Pete Alonso, great hitter, obviously might not get the most swing and miss stuff out of him, but there are guys within this New York lineup that are going to strike out. And Rasmussen, we are hoping, goes the 6 innings. I think there's a chance he might see the longest appearance of the year so far for him. I think there's a chance he could potentially get into the 7th today, something that he hasn't done all year long. I mean, it's getting to a point of the season, right? For Tampa, you're looking at Rasmussen, you're saying, all right, you're obviously our guy this year. you haven't really extended past 85 pitches all year long. Let's see what happens when we get you in the 90s, because he hasn't reached the 90 pitch mark all year long. Rasmussen's high in pitches this year is 86 when he only went 4 1/3 against the Phillies on May the 6th. You know, his last 4 starts, he hasn't gotten out the 70s. It got to come a point eventually, right, where Tampa, I know, again, we are still in the month of June, but it's like, all right, we're 5 games over. We got a chance now to win a series in New York. We're going to push you a little bit further here, so let's see if we can, again, take 2 of 3 against a team in the New York Mets who are 19 games over 500 at home. They're a 27-8 home team. The Rays beat them yesterday, and maybe, again, if Rasmussen can go deep, they can find a way. If he's pitching well, they can find a way to push him even deeper in this game. Guys, yesterday, Taj Bradley only pitched 4 innings against the New York Mets. He had 5 Ks. I get it, Taj Bradley has more swing and miss stuff than Rasmussen does, but I mean, if we give Rasmussen at least 6 innings, I think we're going to be fine. Brandon Nimmo struck out 3 times yesterday. Where was that in the Nats series? Mauricio struck out 3 times. Pete Alonso struck out twice. I mean, of course, Juan's going to always give you his 1 strikeout a game. I think we're fine here. I'm going Drew Rasmussen on the over 4.5 strikeouts. I'm going with the ace for the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I'm going to call him that. 2.22 ERA. Rasmussen, again, 2 runs in the last 29 innings. Drew Rasmussen goes into Queens and finds a way to pick up 5 strikeouts. We've been successful quite often this year with strikeouts against Mets against the Mets. We did it earlier in the year with Adrian Hauser. We did it with Mike Soroka. Jake Irvin, unfortunately, did not give us that same success. But we've been pretty good picking against the Mets in terms of strikeouts this year. So I'm going to go with Drew Rasmussen here. Again, the best pitcher I think we've picked all year long against New York. We just need some of the more swing and miss stuff. I think he's going to get it. Rasmussen over 4.5 Ks as we go on out to our 2 money line picks for today, kicking things off here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to American Family Field. It's going to be the 3rd consecutive day in which we have spoken about Milwaukee and St. Louis. So yesterday we had the NRFI. It did hit. Finally got back on the right track with the no runs scored in the first. And then, of course, with the first game of this 4-game set, we had the St. Louis Cardinals winning. That didn't go the right way for us. Sonny Gray did not have a good start, and Milwaukee played really well. Okay, yesterday, 3-2 victory for the Brewers. Freddie Peralta, Eric Fedde on the mound, obviously the 2 pitchers that we looked at for the NRFI yesterday. Milwaukee with 2 big runs scored in the 6th inning that ultimately won them that game. 3-2 victory. Believe it was Wilson Contreras had a big hit in the 4th inning as well. Sorry, William Contreras, Wilson's on the Cardinals. But a 3-2 victory for the Brewers. Today, I like them again. I look at the pitching matchup, and ultimately that's immediately where I'm going to look at here. And also, by the way, right, St. Louis still on this losing streak. They have now lost 6 consecutive games. I think there's a really good chance it's going to be 7 today. Pitching matchup is going to be Andre Payante and Jose Quintana. Payante has been up and down all season long. So far, 2 starts in the month of June, 7.84 ERA. He had a blow-up start against the Kansas City Royals at home, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs. Last start against the Blue Jays, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Not as bad, obviously, but my goodness, yes, that Royals start was not very good. In the month of May, Payante with a 4.34 ERA. He's just been kind of mid all year long, and at every start Payante had in the month of May, right, he gave up at least 3 runs, pretty much every single start except for the Nationals start, because, you know, that's just how things work with the Nats. But this guy's going to give up runs. He's going to. And I look at who's starting for Milwaukee. It's going to be the vet, 36-year-old Jose Quintana, 2.66 ERA. Another guy like Drew Rasmussen, not going to go deep into games. Hell, he's only gone 5 in his last 4 starts. But he's a guy who's going to be pretty reliable. And at the most, he's going to give up, 2 runs in 5 innings? And usually that's not the case. He's going to give up usually 1 or even 0 in those 5 innings. Quintana has been good all year long with the exception of 1 start. May 3rd against the Chicago Cubs, Quintana goes 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. It's by far his worst start of the season and the only start all year where he's given up more than 2 runs. Hell, he's only had 2 starts all year long where he's given up 2 runs or more. Every other start that Quintana's had, he's given up 0 or 1 run. His last start against a very good lineup, obviously, that you know how good they are, the San Diego Padres. Quintana goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, right? That's going to play. That was on June 7th. That was a week ago. And I look at this Cardinals lineup that is struggling mightily at the plate right now. Who's to say Quintana is not going to go even deeper into today's game and, again, give us a really good line? I think Quintana is going to go past 5 innings for the first time since April 22nd today. I think he's going to go 6 innings, and I think he's going to give us 6 innings of 1-run baseball. I look at what the Cardinals are doing right now. This lineup is ice cold, right? We talk about, we say it all the time. I think Ivan Herrera is a great hitter. I think he's great. The rest of this team, man, just struggles so much. Alec Burleson is having a really good season. He's batting .296. The rest of the lineup, though, man, Lars Nootbaar continues to strike out yesterday. 4 strikeouts in an 0-for-5 effort against the Brewers. Average down to .226 now for the Cardinals leadoff man. Mason Wynn, again, developing into a really good ball player this season. Obviously, you know, he's a premier glove and a premier arm, but obviously the bat's been improving as well. He's batting .260. But still, again, Mason Wynn goes 0-for-4 yesterday. Ivan Herrera, again, he's going to bring power to the lineup. He is a very good slugger. Still, again, yesterday goes 1-for-4. I think there's a lot of opportunities here today for Jose Quintana, a veteran pitcher who's been there, done that. Milwaukee's now won back-to-back games. This is a team that is now up to 5 games over 500. They're a much better team at home, obviously. Home record 22-14. The road record for the St. Louis Cardinals is 14-20. And again, all things considered, St. Louis has lost 6 games in a row. Milwaukee playing with confidence now. And this Brewers lineup, I understand, again, they are shaky, and that's why we did go with the NRFI yesterday. I'm not blown away by what English is hard sometimes, man. I'm not blown away with the stuff that Eric Fetty has, but even then, I was like, all right, I look at the guys that the Brewers are hitting. Like, again, I think Sal Frelick's a great hitter. He's batting .296. Jackson Churrio's been doing his thing. They're not the hottest hitting team. So we just need to we just need the Brewers to find ways to scrape runs across the board today. But again, Payante's pitching, and he's given up at least 2 runs in every single start he's had. I don't think the Brewers are going to be the first team that's going to deviate away from that. So I think the Brewers, again, I think they're going to give us a couple runs. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I think Quintana is going to slam the door shut on St. Louis today. I think the final score today is probably going to be like 4-2. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I believe that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to come out on the right side of things, right? St. Louis, 6 losses in a row. Milwaukee's won the first 2 games of the series. I'm taking the Brewers to do it again today. I'm taking Milwaukee money line at -125 here at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's move on to our final best bet of the video. And yes, we're doing it again. I'm taking the San Francisco Giants to beat the Dodgers. I'm doing it in back-to-back days. Yeah, I wasn't really, going into today, I wasn't thinking I was going to do this, but I was looking at the board. I was like, it's either this to me or it was Cleveland money line on the road in Seattle against the Mariners. And I decided just to go with this instead. And then I was thinking Tampa Bay as well. And I also was considering +2.5 for the White Sox in Texas, but White Sox run line doesn't always go well for us. So I'm going to settle with this. I'm going Giants money line. I'm going with them to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers for the 2nd consecutive day. Guys, the voodoo magic, the dark magic that's going on for the San Francisco Giants, it works because now they are in first place in the National League West. It is insane because they are, I guess they're 1-0 against the Dodgers this year. They both have identical records at 41-29. So yes, the San Francisco Giants own the best record in the best division in baseball. Maybe the NL East is better, but no, the NL West this year is the best division. It's crazy. This team, they're doing it again. It's like 2021 all over again. A team that started Darian Ruff somehow won 104 games. I don't understand. But obviously, again, you know what the Giants do, right? Phenomenal pitching team. They have one of the best staffs in all of baseball. They have the best bullpen in all of baseball. And I look at the matchup today on the mound, and I see Landon Rupp and Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, sign me up here. Sign me up. Okay, I understand Kershaw had a really good last start in St. Louis against the Cardinals. 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks for Unk. I'm fading him here. I don't think Kershaw puts up back-to-back really good nights. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's weird because Kershaw has had his trend all season long has been bad start, good start, bad start, good start. He's only made really 4 starts this season. He had the 2-inning outing against the Mets, but really when we look at this, first start of the year against the Angels, 4 hits, 5 runs. Okay, bounces back against the Guardians in Cleveland, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. Next start against the Mets, gets blown up, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs. Next start in St. Louis last Sunday, really good, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks. Okay, so the trend shows us that the San Francisco Giants should be able to hit early and often against Unk Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, again, forced really 4 outings this season, 20 2/3 innings, and a 4.35 ERA. On the flip side, Landon Rupp's going for the Giants. Landon Rupp has been great for the Giants, okay? After a really rough month of April in which he had a 5.1 ERA, Landon Rupp dominated in the month of May. 1.73 ERA, gave up 5 runs in 26 innings. He had back-to-back shutout performances, albeit through 6 innings, against the Athletics and the Washington Nationals. So far in the month of June for Rupp, against the Giants, against the Padres, he goes 6 1/3, 4 hits, 0 runs. Struggled a little bit with the Braves, don't get me wrong, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, but still a serviceable and a good start for Rupp, and ultimately a performance that got the Giants over the top against Atlanta and won them the game last Sunday against the Braves. So Landon Rupp, 3.29 ERA, the 26-year-old out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, has been really good this season. And yesterday, right, a 6-2 victory for the San Francisco Giants over Los Angeles. I mean, Andrew Kisner gets his first Giants hit yesterday and hits a home run. He was rotting away with the Nationals AAA in Rochester, but it's okay. You know, he is like 1 for 13 with the Giants this season, so I'm not really complaining. But man, it was the grand slam in the 3rd inning out of Casey Schmidt, of all people. Yep, Casey Schmidt with a grand slam that put the Giants over the top. It was a 1-1 game. Obviously, in the 1st inning, Willy Adames, of all people, who I went after yesterday because I said he robbed the Giants. He did. He still did rob the Giants blind, but hell, Willy Adames hits a home run in the 1st. Andy Pages ties the game in the bottom of the 2nd with a sacrifice fly. But ultimately, right, it is that Casey Schmidt grand slam in the top of the 3rd that won the game for the Giants. Final score 6-2. Obviously, right, Schmidt's grand slam put the Giants up 5-1. So now San Francisco, I think they're going to beat the Dodgers again. I saw Logan Webb go right through that Dodgers lineup, which I expected. And it all starts with the top of the lineup, right? If you're able to shut down 1 through 4 from Los Angeles, you're going to win the game. Hell, the only player on the Dodgers yesterday that had a hit was Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez went 2 for 3. He was responsible for that solo home run in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's crazy, though, right? If you're able to shut down Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, and Smith, you're going to win the baseball game. And obviously, I'm not expecting Landon Rupp to completely shut down those 4, but my goodness, the effort that the Giants, the bullpen, and Logan Webb put on those guys, crazy. Ohtani 0 for 4, Betts 0 for 2, Freeman 0 for 4, Will Smith 0 for 3. That's impressive. It really is. I think the Giants go to Los Angeles and win. They are in 1st place of the division. I think they hold that today with the win. I'm going with the dark magic users themselves in the San Francisco Giants. Again, Landon Rupp's been phenomenal. The bullpen we still know is great. Hell, Randy Rodriguez should be back in pitching today, likely in a clutch spot. I know he, gave up his 2nd and 3rd runs all year long in Colorado a couple days ago. I expect him to be much better. And the Dodgers, again, good team. But Clayton Kershaw is pitching. I think the Giants are able to find ways to score runs, and I think, again, I don't think this is a bold statement at all. Landon Rupp's a better pitcher right now than Clayton Kershaw. So give me the San Francisco Giants to go to Los Angeles and beat the Dodgers. We're taking them for the 2nd consecutive day. Moneyline plus 145 for San Francisco on the road against their rivals in Los Angeles. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for June 14th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.